I accidentally spoke, my thoughts about her, but her response was beyond belief. Eli Carter stood near the wide glass wall of Orion Station and tried not to look nervous. Outside the station, stars drifted slowly like silent witnesses. Ships of every size moved in careful lines, glowing with soft lights. Eli had seen pictures of this place before, but standing here in person felt unreal. He was human, and humans were still new to the galaxy. Most species on Orion Station were older than human history itself. They walked, floated, or glided past him with calm confidence. Some had smooth silver skin, others had glowing eyes or long, elegant limbs. Eli felt very small among them. He checked the translator implant behind his ear for the third time. The small device allowed him to understand alien languages and respond in kind. At least it was supposed to. Relax, he whispered to himself. It's just a meeting. But it was not just a meeting. Today, Eli would meet Ambassador Celera, one of the most respected diplomats in the known galaxy. Her species, the Velori, were famous for their telepathic abilities. They did not just hear words, they sensed meaning, emotion, and intent. Humans, on the other hand, were different. Human minds were noisy. That was what the official reports said. The Galactic Council had warned Eli clearly. A soft chime echoed through the hall. Ambassador Celera had arrived. She entered the chamber with quiet grace. She was taller than Eli, with smooth blue-gray skin that shimmered under the lights. Her eyes were large and bright, like polished crystal. Her long cloak moved as if it floated even when she stood still. The entire room became silent. Other diplomats stepped back respectfully. Security units paused their movement. Everyone watched her. Eli swallowed and straightened his jacket. This is it, he thought. Just smile, say hello, don't think anything stupid. Celera's gaze settled on him. Her eyes were calm, curious, and focused. Eli stepped forward and bowed slightly, the way human diplomats were trained. Ambassador Celera, he said. I am Eli Carter, representative of Earth. His translator activated smoothly. Her name sounded musical in his mind. For a moment, everything was perfect. Then the translator flickered, just for a second. Eli didn't notice it at first. He was too busy trying not to panic. His mind jumped from one thought to another like it always did when he was nervous. She's taller than I expected. Wow, the Velori really do have that glowing skin. This room is too quiet. Don't mess this up, Eli. And then without warning, one stray thought slipped forward, unfiltered, unguarded, and completely accidental. It was a harmless, meaningless observation, something his brain noticed and should have ignored, but it didn't. The thought escaped. The translator pulsed once. The room froze. Celera stopped walking. Her eyes widened slightly. The temperature in the chamber seemed to drop, though Eli wasn't sure if that was real or just fear spreading through him. Eli felt his stomach twist. Oh no, he thought. No, no, no. Around them, guards shifted their stance. Several alien diplomats exchanged alarmed looks. A few took quick steps backward. A human thought released openly in a telepathic space was dangerous. Everyone knew that. Eli opened his mouth to apologize, but no sound came out. Celera raised one slender hand. The guard stopped immediately. She stared directly at Eli, her expression unreadable. For several long seconds, no one moved. Then something unexpected happened. Celera did not show anger. She did not show offense. Instead, her breath caught. Her hand trembled slightly. The glow of her skin flickered just for a moment like a light struggling to stay steady. Eli noticed it and felt a deep sense of dread. I am so sorry, he finally said, his voice shaking. I did not mean. She stepped closer. Very close. So close that Eli could see faint patterns on her skin like gentle waves frozen in place. The room was completely silent now. Celera's voice, when she spoke, was soft and controlled, but something beneath it was not. You did not mean to speak, she said slowly. Yet you did. Eli nodded quickly. Yes, no, I didn't intend to share anything. It was an accident. Humans sometimes. She raised her hand again, stopping him. Dismiss the chamber, Celira said. Her voice carried quiet authority. One by one, the diplomats left. Guards hesitated, then obeyed. Soon, only Eli and Celira remained inside the wide chamber. Eli's heart pounded. He expected punishment, perhaps removal from the station, maybe even the end of Earth's fragile diplomatic status. Celira turned away from him and looked out through the glass wall at the stars. "Do you know," she said calmly, "how long it has been since anyone spoke without intent in my presence?" Eli blinked. I don't understand." She turned back to him. "Among my people," she explained, "every thought is shaped before it is shared, every idea is filtered, every emotion is refined." She placed a hand against her chest. "What you released was not refined." Eli felt his face heat up. "I know, and I'm truly sorry." She shook her head slowly. "No," she said, "you misunderstand." Her eyes softened. "It was not offensive," she continued. "It was not threatening, it was not strategic." She took a careful breath. "It was real." Eli stared at her, confused. "For us," Celira said, "unfiltered thought is considered impossible, dangerous, childish. We lost it generations ago." She studied him closely now, as if seeing him for the first time. "You carry chaos in your mind," she said quietly, "yet also honesty." Eli swallowed. "That chaos usually gets us into trouble." A faint smile touched her lips. "Perhaps," she replied, "or perhaps it is what the galaxy has been missing." Outside the chamber, unseen by both of them, whispers were already spreading through Orion Station. A human had let a thought slip, and instead of disaster, something had changed. Eli Carter did not sleep that night. He sat alone in his assigned quarters on Orion Station, staring at the faint glow of the ceiling lights. His mind replayed the meeting again and again. Every word, every pause, every look from Ambassador Celira. He had expected fear. He had expected consequences. He had not expected curiosity. Outside his door, the station hummed with quiet activity. Orion Station never truly rested. Somewhere far away, ships docked and departed. Aliens from 100 worlds continued their lives, unaware that something small but important had shifted. Eli rubbed his face and sighed. "Unfiltered thought," he whispered. "Back on Earth, that phrase would mean nothing. Humans thought freely all the time. They noticed things without meaning. Their minds jumped from one idea to another like sparks in dry grass. But here, thoughts mattered." The next morning, Eli received a summons. It arrived as a soft blue light above his wrist communicator. "Ambassador Celira requests your presence. Private chamber. Immediate." Eli's heart skipped. He dressed quickly and checked his translator and plan again. It showed green, fully active. Still, he felt no comfort. He knew now that the device could not protect him from his own mind. As he walked through the curved corridors of the station, he noticed something strange. Aliens were watching him, not with hostility, not with fear, with interest. Two long-limbed traders paused their conversation as he passed. A floating scholar creature tilted its many eyes toward him. Even station staff slowed slightly when they saw the human diplomat. Whispers followed him. "Is that him?" The private chamber was smaller than the main hall, circular and calm. Soft lights glowed along the walls. Celira stood near the center, her hands folded behind her back. She turned as he entered. "You came quickly," she said. "Yes," Eli replied. "I thought it was important." She nodded. "It is." She gestured toward a seat. Eli sat carefully, keeping his posture straight. He tried to slow his breathing to quiet his thoughts. Celira did not sit. Instead, she paced slowly as if considering something difficult. "After our meeting," she said, "I reported the incident to my council." Eli stiffened. "And they did not believe me." He looked up, surprised. "They did. They believed the data," she explained. "They did not believe the meaning." She stopped pacing and faced him. "You shared a thought without intent, without design, without purpose." Yes, Eli said softly, humans do that. Her eyes narrowed slightly, not in anger but focus. Explain, she said. Eli hesitated. Then he spoke carefully. Human minds are crowded. Thoughts happen before we can stop them. Some are important, some are not. Many are forgotten seconds after they appear. Celia tilted her head. You do not shape them. We try, Eli said. But not always, especially when nervous. A faint glow passed across her skin. In my people, she said, a thought unshaped is considered dangerous. It can influence others without warning. Eli nodded. That's why humans were labeled mentally unstable, right? She did not deny it. Your species was classified as a risk, she said. Your minds were considered loud. Eli gave a weak smile. That sounds accurate. For a moment, Celia studied him in silence. Yesterday, she said slowly, when your thought reached me, I felt something unfamiliar. Eli waited. Surprise, she said, and something else. She searched for the word, freedom. Eli frowned. Freedom? Yes, she replied. There was no pressure in your thought, no hidden meaning, no attempt to guide my reaction. She took a breath. For centuries, my people have spoken with perfect control. We know what others expect before they speak. Conversations are efficient but empty. She met his eyes. Your thought was inefficient. Eli blinked. And yet, she continued, it carried truth. Before Eli could respond, the chamber door chimed softly. Celia turned. Enter, she said. The door opened and 3 figures stepped inside. They were not guards, they were observers. Each belonged to a different telepathic species. One had skin like polished stone, another shimmered like mist. The third was tall and thin with glowing lines across its face. Eli's stomach dropped. Celia gestured toward Eli. This is the human, she said. All 3 observers focused on him at once. Eli felt pressure, not physical but mental, like standing under a heavy sky. You allowed an unfiltered thought to escape, said the stone-skinned observer. Yes, Eli replied honestly. Was it intentional? Asked the mist-like one. No. Could you do it again? Asked the tall one. Eli hesitated. Probably, but not on purpose. A quiet murmur passed between them, not spoken aloud. Celia raised her hand. He is not a tool, she said firmly. The observers paused. He is a person, she continued, and a representative of his species. The tall observer studied her. You defend him. I protect balance, Celia replied. She turned back to Eli. Would you be willing, she asked, to participate in a controlled exchange? Eli's heart raced. What kind of exchange? A mental one, she said, brief, monitored, safe. Eli thought of Earth, of humanity's fragile place in the galaxy, of how easily fear could turn into isolation. If it helps understanding, he said, I'll try. The observers positioned themselves around the chamber. Soft energy fields shimmered, creating a barrier. Celia stepped closer to Eli. Do not force your thoughts, she said gently. Just be human. Eli swallowed. Okay. He closed his eyes. At first nothing happened. Then his thoughts drifted, random, quiet, ordinary. The light hums. This room smells clean. I hope I don't mess this up. A ripple passed through the chamber. The mist-like observer flickered. The stone-skinned one leaned forward slightly. Celia inhaled sharply. Eli opened his eyes. Did something go wrong? No, she said quickly. Her voice was unsteady. It went right. The observers exchanged silent signals again. This is chaotic, said the tall one, yet stable. It is uncontrolled, said the stone-skinned observer, yet harmless. Celia placed a hand over her chest. This, she said, is why humans endure. She looked at Eli with something close to awe. You survive not because your minds are quiet, she said, but because they are alive. Beyond the chamber walls, Orion's station continued its endless motion, but word of the experiment spread fast. The galaxy was beginning to listen. And humanity, without meaning to, was teaching it something new. By the 3rd day, Orion's station no longer felt the same. Eli Carter noticed it the moment he stepped out of his quarters. The corridors were busier than usual, yet quieter at the same time. Groups of aliens stood together, speaking in low voices. Some paused when Eli passed. Others watched him openly, their expressions thoughtful instead of fearful. He was no longer just a visitor. He was a question. News of the controlled exchange had spread far beyond the station. Telepathic species across the sector had received the report. A human had shared unfiltered thoughts, and no harm had followed. Instead, observers described something unexpected: mental movement, emotional color, spontaneous truth. For civilizations built on perfect control, this was deeply unsettling. Eli reached the Central Council wing, where a formal session had been called. He had not requested it. He had not even been informed in advance. But the galaxy had decided. The chamber was massive, shaped like a rising spiral. Hundreds of representatives filled the tiers, each enclosed in their own environment fields. Some floated, some stood, some remained hidden behind energy veils. At the center stood Ambassador Celera. Eli took his place beside her, feeling very small. "The session will begin," announced the neutral council voice. Subject: human cognitive presence. A low murmur rippled through the chamber. The first speaker rose, a tall being wrapped in shifting light. "Human representative," the being said, "your species has been classified as mentally unstable since first contact." Eli nodded. "I know. Your thoughts are unshielded, unstructured, unpredictable." "Yes," Eli replied simply. "Then explain," the being continued, "why such a mind did not disrupt a telepathic environment." Eli paused. He looked around the chamber at beings who had lived thousands of years longer than he had. He chose his words carefully. "Because humans don't try to control every thought," he said. "Most of them don't mean anything." A ripple of confusion passed through the council. "Explain," another voice demanded. Eli took a breath. "A human mind is like a crowded street," he said. "There are important conversations, background noise, random sounds. You don't stop the street from being busy, you learn to live in it." Celera watched him closely. "For us," said a telepathic elder, "a thought is an action." Eli nodded. "For us, a thought is just a thought." Silence followed. Then another representative spoke, this one from a non-telepathic species. "Is it true," the voice asked, "that humans think even when they are afraid?" Eli gave a small smile. "Especially then." The chamber reacted. Telepaths exchanged signals. Analysts adjusted data streams. Some beings leaned forward. Celera stepped forward. "My people believed perfection was safety," she said. "We believed that shaping every thought protected us from chaos." She looked out at the council. "But perfection also removed surprise." "Growth, change." She turned toward Eli. "Humans are not perfect," she said. "Their minds are loud, unfiltered, sometimes uncomfortable." She paused. "And yet they continue." The council chamber shifted as another voice rose, sharper than the rest. "This is dangerous thinking," said a high-ranking telepathic authority. "Unfiltered minds introduce uncertainty. Uncertainty leads to instability." Eli felt the weight of those words. Celera did not step back. "Instability is not the same as destruction," she replied calmly. "It is the space where adaptation happens." The authority's energy field pulsed. "You would invite chaos." "No," Celera said. "I would invite honesty." The chamber fell quiet again. Then something unexpected happened. One of the elder telepaths disengaged their mental filter. Gasps echoed across the chamber. The elder's posture stiffened, their breathing changed. "I hear it," the elder said softly. "The noise." Eli felt a wave of pressure pass through the room. The elder's voice trembled. "It is overwhelming." Celera stepped closer. "You are safe," she said. "Let it pass." Moments stretched. Then the elder relaxed. "There is emotion beneath it," the elder said. "Fear, hope, curiosity." They looked at Eli. "It does not seek to control." The council erupted into layered discussion. Some representatives expressed concern. Others showed fascination. A few displayed something close to relief. Eli stood silently as the galaxy argued about his mind. Finally, the neutral council voice returned. "A proposal has been submitted," it announced. "Human cognitive presence will be reclassified for further study." Eli's heart pounded. "Humans will no longer be restricted from telepathic zones," the voice continued. "Instead, they will be observed as potential, stabilizing anomalies." Celira allowed herself a small smile. After the session, Eli and Celira walked together through a quiet observation corridor. "I didn't expect that," Eli admitted. "Neither did they," she replied. She stopped near the glass wall, watching distant stars drift by. "My people once believed silence was strength," she said. "But silence can also hide fear." She looked at Eli. "Your species does not hide its fear," she continued. "You think through it, around it, sometimes despite it." Eli shrugged. "We're not very good at pretending." "That may be your greatest advantage," she said. A soft alert chimed from Eli's communicator. "Incoming message, Earth Diplomatic Command." He hesitated, then opened it. "Eli," the message read, "we are receiving unprecedented requests. Telepathic species want human observers. Not negotiators, not strategists." "Then what?" Eli whispered. "They want listeners," the message continued. "They want perspective." Eli looked at Celira. "They want humans," he said. She nodded slowly. "The galaxy is tired of hearing itself think," she said. Far beyond Orion Station, worlds were beginning to reconsider old truths. Humanity had not conquered anything, had not threatened anyone, had not proven itself through force or dominance. It had simply existed, messy, noisy, honest. And for the first time in a long while, the galaxy felt something new. Possibility. Orion Station felt different now. It was not louder, it was not brighter, but something invisible had shifted. Eli Carter sensed it as he walked through the main corridor one last time. The station still moved with its usual rhythm, yet the tension that once hung in the air was gone. Instead, there was curiosity, respect. Eli paused near the observation deck, watching ships arrive from distant systems. Some were sleek and silent, others were heavy and slow. All carried beings who had lived their lives believing the same thing, that perfection was safety, and that humans were a problem. That belief was changing. Behind him, soft footsteps approached. "You are leaving," Ambassador Celira said. Eli turned and smiled. "Earth requested my return. They want a full report." She joined him at the glass wall. "Your presence here has already become a report," she said. Eli laughed quietly. "I didn't plan any of this." "I know," she replied. "That is why it matters." In the days since the council session, requests had flooded in. Telepathic worlds asked for human teachers, not to teach control, but to teach acceptance of uncontrolled thought. Some wanted human companions in their research stations. Others requested joint cultural centers. A few simply asked for humans to sit with them in silence. Human silence, it turned out, was not empty. It was alive. Celira folded her hands behind her back. "My people debated your influence late into the night," she said. "Some were afraid." "And the others?" Eli asked. "They were tired," she said honestly, "tired of perfection." She looked at him, her eyes steady and clear. "We shaped every thought to protect ourselves," she continued. "But in doing so, we shaped away wonder." Eli nodded. "Humans lose control all the time. But sometimes that's how we find something new." A soft chime echoed through the station. Final council announcement. All representatives requested to listen. Eli and Celira exchanged a glance. "Looks like one last meeting," Eli said. The council chamber filled quickly. This time the mood was not tense. It was careful, expectant. The neutral council voice spoke. "After review and consensus, the council has reached a decision regarding humanity's role." Eli felt his chest tighten. "Humanity will be classified as a cognitive bridge species." The chamber stirred. "Humans will serve as non-telepathic emotional anchors in multi-species environments. Their presence has been proven to reduce feedback loops, prevent mental stagnation, and introduce adaptive variants. Celera closed her eyes briefly. Eli stood frozen. This classification is voluntary, the voice continued. Humans will not be controlled, modified, or restricted. A pause. Because they cannot be. Soft sounds of agreement echoed through the chamber. Eli exhaled slowly. After the announcement, representatives approached him, not all at once, but one by one. A telepathic scholar bowed slightly. Your thoughts are uncomfortable, they admitted, but they remind us we are alive. A mist-like being hovered closer. May I sit near a human someday? It asked. Eli smiled. Any time. Even the elder who had once feared the noise now offered a respectful nod. You do not silence fear, the elder said. You walk with it. Later, as the chamber emptied, Celera remained behind with Eli. You changed how the galaxy sees humanity, she said. Eli shook his head. I think humanity just stopped trying to hide. She studied him carefully. There is one more thing, she said. Yes, Eli replied. When you first arrived, she said slowly, you feared your unfiltered thoughts would offend. Eli chuckled. That fear hasn't gone away. She allowed a small, genuine smile. Do not lose that, she said. It is part of your strength. Hours later, Eli stood aboard the human transport ship, preparing to depart. The docking clamps released with a low hum. As the ship pulled away from Orion Station, Eli looked back at the massive structure. It had once felt like a place where humans did not belong. Now it felt like a place that would never be the same without them. His communicator chimed. Message from Earth Diplomatic Command. You did well. The galaxy is listening. Eli leaned back in his seat and laughed softly. All because I didn't think fast enough, he said. But deep down, he knew it wasn't an accident. Humans had always been like this. They survived harsh worlds. They adapted without instruction. They spoke before thinking. They thought while afraid. They hoped even when logic said not to. They were imperfect. And that imperfection had become their gift. Back on Orion Station, Ambassador Celera stood alone at the observation deck. She allowed her mental filters to loosen just a little. The noise came, not loud, not dangerous, just alive. For the first time in centuries, she did not push it away. She welcomed it. Far across the stars, humanity continued forward, not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as something far rarer. A reminder that thinking freely was not a flaw, it was proof of life.